Can King James be trusted? By Trey Knowles. Note: 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, "But test everything. Hold fast what is good." Note: 1 John 4 verse 1. Dear friends, do not believe everyone who claims to speak by the Spirit. You must test them to see if the Spirit they have comes from God. For there are many false prophets in the world. Suspicion of King James. Acts 12 verse 4 in the King James Version says, "And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people." The word Easter is not of God. God is holy, he would not associate with Easter. Why would the word Easter be placed in the King James Version of the Bible only and not any other Bible version? Note: God tells us himself in Exodus 20 verse 5, "You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me." Note: God is holy and pure. Pure means not mixing with ungodly things. Jesus is pure. 1 John 3 verse 3 says, "And everyone who has this hope in him purifies himself as he is pure." Jesus and Easter does not go together. What is Easter? Easter was originally a pagan festival that celebrated the spring equinox and the false goddess of spring and fertility, Eostre. The word Easter is thought to come from the false goddess's name Eostre. Integration into Christianity. As Christianity became more popular, many pagan customs and rituals were incorporated into Christian festivals. For example, the Church decided that Easter should be celebrated on the Sunday after the first full moon of the spring equinox. Note: Revelation 12 verse 9 says the devil deceived the whole world. If the whole world has been deceived, where is the largest deception in your opinion? What we know about King James. In 1597, King James I wrote a book called Demonology. King James wrote a dissertation titled Demonology that was first sold in 1597, several years prior to the first publication of the King James Authorized Version of the Bible. Within 3 short books, James wrote a philosophical dissertation in the form of a Socratic dialogue for the purpose of making arguments and comparisons between magic, sorcery, and witchcraft, but wrote also his classification of demons. In writing the book, King James was heavily influenced by his personal involvement in the North Berwick witch trials from 1590. Following the execution of an alleged sorcerer in the year 1591, the news of the trials was narrated in a news pamphlet titled News from Scotland and was included as the final chapter of the text. The book endorses the practice of witch hunting in a Christian society. King James may also have been prompted to write the Demonology by an anonymous critical pamphlet, John a Paland, which circulated in 1597 and alleged the Scottish court was bewitched. James begins the book. "The fearful abounding at this time in this country of these detestable slaves of the devil, the witches or enchanters, hath moved me, beloved reader, to dispatch and post this following treatise of mine, to resolve the doubting, both that such assaults of Satan are most certainly practiced, and that the instrument thereof merits most severely to be punished." As detailed in his preface, the main sources of this work were that of historically confessed witches, judicial case history, and the Bible itself. He also amassed various dissertations on magical studies to expand his education on the relationships between infernal spirits and men. James generally sought to prove that the devilish arts have always been, yet still are, but also explains the justification of a witch trial and the punishments which a practitioner of the dark arts merits. He also reasons scholastically what kinds of things are possible in the performance of these arts, and the natural causes of the devil's power with the use of philosophical reasoning. King James sought to prove the existence of witchcraft to other Christians through biblical teachings. His work is separated into 3 books based on the different arguments the philosophers discuss, with citations of biblical scripture throughout the text. Can King James be trusted? Now you decide.